Okay, my name's Rich. This is Classic Games Redefined. I'm going to do a little bit of hypothetical exercise in game design. The exercise we're doing now is fixing Anita Sarkeesian's Legend of the Last Princess. I will post a link below to this. You don't have to watch our show, just go to this one here. Okay, you can watch this. This is a standard cliche princess story, but she will break out of prison, steal a person's uniform, go across, go into a dungeon, go into a forest, the forbidden forest, grind for a number of hours, then go kill the monarchy, whatever else. And she will pick up some stealth so you can break in the castle. Okay. We're also in the process of this. We're getting a 2-for-1 here, and you want to thank me for this. I'm also going to fix Fable 3. Mind you, what I am proposing here is a possibly theoretical concept that we may not have an ability to code, but it would be a whole lot more interesting than this pile of tropes as a play mechanic laid out. I see a gem here, which is the reason why I'm going to do it. And I stopped it here. It's 1 minute long. I'm not going to run it. But anyhow, we'll do it. You can go there and watch the video. Okay, let's start out. You're the princess. You're kidnapped. We'll work from the feminist perspective of Anita Sarkeesian. So, at the beginning of the game, I am not going to have you as some sort of royalty. You pick out your gender and all that. We'll limit it to this. So, in this, you're a princess, we might as well give you a backstory. We'll tell you, I'm going to give you the big ingredient. And this would work the same thing for Fable 3. Give me an open, dynamic world that's procedurally generated, that the characters have motivation and don't script this, which is what Anita fell into. But let's make this a little bit more interesting. So you have the princess here. She's kidnapped, and she decides, oh, I'm going to break free and go across. So you know what she does? She can go ahead and develop certain skills and maybe talk to the guards to join the revolution. Since you have a corrupt council, let's call them the patriarchy, the patriarchs. We might as well go that way. By the way, Anita didn't specify what her kingdom was her either. Let's call it Sarkeesia. She's a Sarkeesian from the land of Sarkeesia. And the princess's name is Nita. We might as well do that. So anyhow, she would break out of the prison, either by stealth or by force, depending on how she was in her training, and did that. And then she would get out, and she discovers, after breaking out, that the kingdom's been taken over by the corrupt council, by the patriarch. The patriarchy, whatever you want to call it. The council of bishops and whatever else. So what she does, she has to formulate a strategy, and you're playing a princess in this. And what you do, you can do the straight approach of ninja and go in and assassinate them, or you can do other things, like win the popular support of the people and stage an uprising. Okay, you can do other things. Let's say, for example, go the commerce route and hire a bunch of mercenaries. You could go the lowbrow route as a rogue and get the underclass to go in and hire some assassins. Okay, this is the first half of the game. And this is where Anita goes, that she takes over happily ever after. We've gotten to the first half. And we're going along the lines of what Fable 3 was here. But what we're going to do a little bit differently is this is where the second part was, is that the princess manages to find a way to dispose of the council. In her playing of this first half of the game, it sets up what the second half is going to be. She now rules. And this is where it would fix Fable 3 also. It's not scripted, not voice actors, we don't care this. We have a dynamic universe, and now you run it as a kingdom simulator. You're the ruling princess, and your job there is to go ahead and rule the kingdom. Make decisions on budgets. How much do I raise for raising an army? You do stuff like that. You give me a dynamic thing, and I can also do it as a 2D world or a 3D world. I have that cross. So it's kind of like Elder Scrolls series, Skyrim. And it would be a dynamic universe. You start out as somebody else, lowly, and you work your way up to the ranks, as it were. I mean, you could also do everything else of going off and getting a foreign army to come in and lead a revolt that way. What we're looking at here is a game for me that's a whole lot more interesting than what Anita Ms. Sarkeesian proposed here. And you could do it with all the feminine things. But the point we're looking at here, and this is one of the big issues I have with this channel that I'm bringing up, and I'm fed up with modern AAA design, is everything's scripted. There's no replayability in this. What I propose here is a dynamic, living universe you interact with. You can take multiple roles, multiple approaches. You know, you win the popular support of the people, and do this, and try to win and persuade people that the council's thing. And you use talk, you use diplomacy, you use negotiation. You have a game that appeals to a wider range of skills. This is what you do here. You don't give me a linearly scripted type thing that's played like everything else. You don't do this. And you give me the second half of the game so I can replay it or continue to play it. And if you want to add DLC, it'd be more than appropriate there. I'm not advocating it. But give me a game. It would play like a kingdom simulator in the second half. That's where Fable 3 failed me also. I wanted the game. There was a game Blade way back when where you had it. I wanted this game. But anyhow, that's not what Anita provides here. She provides this trope thing and thinks the big issue with the game's in appeal is because you can't relate with the character. Really. And that's it. You know, we gotta have a thing and focus totally on a four-story narrative, limited choices. Anyhow, watch the video. She just uses brute force, kicks the door down, captures the guard's uniform, does this stuff here, and then picks up skills. I think Anita's stuck on Zelda. I mean, seriously, Zelda. Legend of Zelda, but we're not going to have as much violence. We can use stealth to break in, and then what? You know. Yeah, here's another option. The princess can go in there and blackmail the council. You know, what is the latest game they had out there, the Lord of the Rings game? Lords of Mordor. Yeah, do the management simulator in the Mordor game. You know, go ahead and do that, and you can manipulate the management leadership on top there. And do that. Use persuasion and everything else. Maybe throw some mini games if you want to do that. Kind of what Fable 3 had. But give me a dynamic world that's replayable. You know, and I think it's rejected princesses. Anyhow, you could use that. But that would be my take. Yeah, fine. She gets out of the prison and everything else. But you followed such a trope-ridden, cliche-driven gameplay that, you know... And then Anita complains. Ms. Sarkeesian complains. Well, she's a woman in man's uniform. Man. It's a woman as a man and stuff, and there isn't any difference. Why don't you here, instead of doing that, why don't you, Ms. Sarkeesian, and anybody else, you know, have other more diverse skills and show how they're handled? You know, like talking and everything else, communicating, showing leadership, persuading, and everything else. And doing it that way. And, matter of fact, let's make the game so open-ended that the princess decides to leave and goes off and does everything else and forget her kingdom. You know, and if players want to play it that way. My take, this is how you'd fix it. You make it an open-world game with different things. That has two parts. One, regain the crown, and the second part, running the kingdom like a kingdom simulator. 4X title or something. Post comments below. Let me know if this sounds more interesting than that. I'm not necessarily interested in just fragging Ms. Sarkeesian here in this show. You will have a link to this here if you haven't seen this. But anyhow, that's about it. We'll be getting this up here soon. I got to do probably some annotating. But this is my hypothetical analysis, my hypothetical fixing of a hypothetical game concept. I don't know if Anita knows anything about game design at all. I do. I mean, I used to code some games back in the day, but it just really... There's something here, but it really needs to be different, and it falls in the same trap. On the high end, that it would be nothing more than Fable 3. And this would be cool, but give me a universe that's living, breathing, can do stuff here. Anyhow, that's what I propose. And for me, from somebody who does game perspective, the problems are deeper than characterizations and do this stuff here and empower the women and all that. A lot different. It's gameplay, man. That's my take. Okay, my name's Rich. I'm checking out. I do want to thank you for watching. Please post comments below. Again, thank you for watching, and may your die always roll 5.